Coach, the inability to make shots has been something that's been plaguing you guys for quite some time now. You're getting open looks, they're just not falling. What can you do about that as a coach?
Well, it seems like they're all lacking a little confidence. Said it one of the timeouts, hey, if we lose, we lose. You just gotta shoot and believe you're gonna make the shot. Sometimes when you're struggling, there's maybe a little more pressure, and you just gotta play. You gotta have confidence. The guys work on their shots. It's just a matter of getting in these games and playing instead of playing not to lose. You gotta play to win. We got off to the slow start again. Couldn't really score the ball. And typical basketball 101, that when you let a team hang around for a while, all it takes is that one little stretch of them made 4 straight threes. And now you're in trouble. So, we just got to continue to build on what we did the other day in practice. We did a pretty decent job for most of the time, except for that stretch. That stretch was a killer.
Anything on Eric yet?
No, I think they sent them off to get an MRI, and to me, I think I heard Doc say it's nothing. I don't want to say it wrong, but it's not like a torn ACL or anything like that. That was stable, I guess. So.
Didn't look like it was a contact injury.
You know what? I didn't see how it happened. All I saw was that he was down. He didn't say, when we saw him at halftime that he hit it on somebody. He said he just kind of felt something. So.
Did you feel like it was an effort thing tonight, or just didn't go your way?
No, the guys play hard. I can't fault them for that. They're trying defensively. I thought they were trying to get after it. There were times when we didn't close out hard enough. But again, that's a team that typically, if you look at our season averages for shooting percentages, we're definitely not bad. Guys made the shots, and some of them, were break down the rotation. Some I thought we overhelped. We gotta be disciplined to know who the shooters are, and the normal basketball thought is if the guy starts penetrating, that you help. And it's a hard thing to break because you still want to help a little bit. But if you have a shooter out there, then you got to get back out to them. And our guys were probably helping a little too much, and then when they got out there, they saw we fouled, I think, twice on maybe 3-pointers. So they're right there. Again, to some of their credit, they made those shots even when they got fouled. That's a discipline thing that we're going to rely on Tyson and Alex in the middle to try to make them make that maybe mid-range shot. We can't go for threes.
Coach, this is the same roster that started the season 7-5, and it just seems like didn't have any real bad losses to start the season, and now they're just racking up. Is this the low point of your tenure here in Phoenix, and how do you think you guys are going to be able to snap out of that?
Yeah, obviously it's probably a low point for us. We started off decently, but we got things here or there that we blew a couple games, had some leads in some games, and then this last stretch we just I think it lost a little bit of confidence. There was a lot of games came in. I think a couple of them we probably were tired and we lost. But we've had the rest, recently. But now the confidence is lacking, so we've got to figure out a way to get that confidence back in them and continue to play. We'll have to see, how Eric is. But we'll continue to work at it.
Anything need to be said to the players at the end of the game?
No, it's tough for them, tough for us. We're going to keep working. They're going to keep working, and try to get to the point where we're winning some of these games. So all you can do is go out there and work as hard as you can.
When you have stretches like this, sometimes the players can lose faith in the process too. Do you feel like they're still all in with?
Absolutely. Again, you know, if guys get down and, you know, they're in the quitting mode, then they come to practice and they just, you know, not give an effort. Like I said to practice the other day, but you can't turn things around in one day. You know, you can't have one great practice and think, okay, now we're back to playing that way. We got to continue to do it, you know, day in and day out, and in every one of these practices we have, and then maybe we'll start turning our way.
You said it didn't sound like Eric's was too serious, and is it?
I don't know. They're
Okay.
sending him in. I don't. He looked pretty sore. He couldn't step on it, but I think the major ACL thing. You know, I think the doc said that was stable. So he'll get MRIs and X-rays and find out then.
Did you think this late into December you would be in this sort of situation with the team, like where you're still searching for who you are? And
No. Obviously, it was. I think it would come together quicker. But again, you know, we've had some new guys. You know, we're looking for these guys that'll step up. You know, maybe give us that spark. But you know, we're all kind of struggling right now with getting that spark.
Tyson, in 14 minutes, he had 10 and 10. There was actually got some good action out of the pick and roll that hasn't been there. Was it just a matter of how the game flowed that he wasn't able to get in more? Just
Well, you know, you guys right, he's had the hamstring issue, and we talked about it before the game, and he said that, you know, as he starts to get tired, then he can't sprint, and he feels like he's not able to really give us anything. So we're trying to go with 4-minute stints tonight. You know, play 4 minutes and then come out. So I felt like that was probably about the time when it was fatiguing and the hamstring was not allowing him to do a lot of things he wants to do. So you know, it's obviously, you know, he played well for those minutes that he was in there. So I mean, that's something we have to continue to do here for a while until it gets totally healed.
Are there any specific upgrades you're looking at as far as the trade market is concerned?
I'm not, you know, that's Ryan and those guys upstairs are trying to look at things and try to figure things out that way. You know, it's the NBA, it's always probably difficult to make trades. But, you know, when you're losing, you're probably looking at all kind of things. We got 2 centers, Tyson and Alex, so my guess is it wouldn't be a center. You know, now with Eric's injury, to see what that is,